Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to the Supernatural Retrospective. We're on season 1, episode 5. 5. Jeez. Episode 5, Bloody Mary. Whoa. Yes, it was only a matter of time before they would tackle this. In the first season, they do a lot of urban legend stuff here. The Hookman legend, they do later this season. So, yeah. So yes. So what I want to point out, I should have pointed out in the last one, but I didn't put in this one. The whole previously on Supernatural, me get a flash to everything that has happened so far. It's just like, I get it, and they do this throughout most of the series. Though the DVDs start to leave them out around season 4-ish. They stop having them on there. So, I mean, you can still watch them if you want, but they're optional. Yeah, so we start in the house. We find out later is the Schumacher house. And little Lily Schumacher. Shoemaker. It's literally spelled Shoemaker. Shoemaker is with her little friends having a sleepover, and they are playing the Bloody Mary game. Right? And nothing happens. Yet. I want to point out, later they say that this little girl is 12. So, I looked it up because I wanted to make sure I was right. She's 31 now. I would have said 32, but she's has never had a birthday yet, I guess. I don't know. She's 31 now. How the passage of time works. 20 years. But yes, the older sister comes home. She was not obeying curfew. This obviously 25-year-old woman who shows up. And that's another thing. This episode, I had a disconnect because so Sam is supposed to be 22. Dean is 26. This is established. But they're supposed to be grown-ass men talking to these high school students, also played by 20-something-year-olds. Kind of takes you out of it when they're talking to Marnette Patterson, who is probably the same age as Jared Padalecki is, and she's supposed to be in high school and he's in college. Do you get the disconnect here? I'm just saying. Well, Dad says the shoosh, you're being too loud, and then the sister comes home later, and then she finds that Dad dead in front of the bathroom mirror cabinet thing. This Bloody Mary had gotten him. Then they still have the Supernatural at the opening, and then, they haven't changed it yet. Sam has another nightmare about Jessica being on fire. This time, it's blue. Then he wakes up and they're in the car. And they're on their way to this place, Toledo, Ohio. Check out what had happened. Now, everyone says it was a stroke. I don't know what stroke leaves blood out. I don't know of any stroke where your eyes are popped out or scratched out and there's blood all over the place, but they say it is a stroke. Okay. I like to talk to the doctor who made that assessment and smack him upside the head. Like, what stroke have you seen where their eyes pop out? Their eyes are scratched out and blood all over the place. Hello? No. The little sister, Lily, says, who's 31 now, says it wasn't a stroke. It was her. It was Bloody Mary. And they're like, he's like, how can be Bloody Mary? Your dad didn't say it, right? And she's like, no. She said it. There's a twist to it. Because, yeah, the little girl said it, but the dad died because there's a twist on this Bloody Mary, which kind of makes it a little more interesting than just a regular, you say it 3 times in front of a mirror. So there's kind of an issue with that. You don't always have to say it in front of a mirror. Like, they say that with Candyman, too. People just say Candyman away from a mirror, and he still pops out. Works when it wants to. And there's we'll get to it. So they say they worked with her dad, and they go upstairs to investigate the bathroom or whatever. And the other friend, Charlie, who is Marnette Patterson, another CW veteran here, as she was a guest star on Charmed, which I believe this was around the same time, right? The final season of Charmed was airing around this time, I think. Because I think it went 8 seasons from 96, 97, 2000, 2001. Yeah, that was 5. 8 season would have. It would have been done by then, but she has ad connections. So, yes. And, she's suspicious of them, and they said, well, we're just investigating, and here, if you have any questions, here's our number. Sam gives her his number. Yeah. And again, you're supposed to go, wait, this grown-ass man just gave a teenager his number, but they look like they're the same age, so it does not really a question of it, because they look like they're the same. So they begin to investigate any Marys from the town, but they can't find any. What I do like is like, well, there's this person, and a giant mirror fell on a guy named Dave, but no Marys. I like that. It makes me laugh. And a mirror fell on a guy named Dave, but no Marys. No. But anyway, Charlie is now on the phone with her friend Lily, who is Shaylin Simmons, who you may know from Final Destination 3. Yes, we're back on that old thing again. So we have 2 now from Final Destination 3. And yes, I am counting Corey Monteith. Suck it. He was in the movie. He had no lines. But I think he had 1 line. Hey. I think that's what he did. Hey. More lines than he had in this one, I think. I don't know. But that's 2 from Final Destination movies. And I'm counting them, and there may be more, actually. I know there's at least 1 person in season 2. She has like 3 different roles in this show, though. 2 or 3. She's like a lady, and then she's a witch and one. Anyway, I haven't said who it is, but And she's talking to her on the phone, and she says, Bloody Mary 3 times. This is confusing, right? Because it goes after her, I guess because she's right there. But we find out later that Charlie also had something connected to we'll figure it out. So, Lily dies. She's like, oh, it's just such a joke, blah, 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 blah. Hangs up. And then she's found dead, and Charlie has to call them as they are... Have they left yet? Have they gone to Fort Wayne yet? Are they still investigating? Did they find Mary Worthington yet? I don't remember. Whatever. I think Dean's still looking it up, and they go to her and they have to investigate. So they go to Lily's house, and they use a... Sam doesn't know how to turn on the night vision on a camcorder. And the way the technology has come, because by the end of this, they're just using their phones. But like here, they got an actual camcorder. Camera thing. Digital camera recording with freaking night vision. And then this confused me, because he finds a trail of some kind of goo. The mirror is dripping with goo, and he finds it. But then he's like, we have a black light in the trunk, right? So my thought was, what, you can't just use the camera's night vision? I mean, you saw the goop, right? Is it not strong enough? Also, Dean would then have to go out the window, come back in the window, and hope no one saw him, and illustrate this by just him shutting the things again. So they do the black light, and it reads out a name, something Breyer. I don't know. And they investigate this and find out that it was an 8-year-old boy who died in a hit and run. And it was, the car was described as a Toyota Camry, black Toyota Camry, and they didn't get the plates or see who was driving. And Charlie automatically knows Jill drove that car. She's the only one in town that has a Toyota Camry, huh? You just sure? Okay. So then they go back to the shoemaker's house. And they're looking at that, and there they find the name Linda Shoemaker. And as it turns out, the dad, they don't explain it, really. It's like, my mom, Linda's my mom, but she died of an accidental overdose of sleeping pills. That's what happened. And as it demonstrates, Mary kind of takes liberties with what it was. So if he could have just been the one that gave her the sleeping pills, or they could have had an argument where he walked out and she decided to take a handful of sleeping pills. Who knows? They said it was an accident, so they don't really go into the specifics on that one. But yeah, then they go to Toledo, Ohio, because they found out Mary Worthington where the mirror was. It was in Toledo, Ohio. They go to there to talk to the mirror, to talk to this detective guy who tells them all about everything, and that the mirror went back with the family. So Sam then calls the brother. The brother says, first of all, I know it's to give context, but like Sam hangs up and goes, that was Mary's brother. And I'm like, wouldn't Dean have already known that? I know the audience needs to know that, but Dean would already know that. It's one of those things where you have to spell things out so the audience knows, but it's something that the other character in the scene with him would already know. Anyway, the mirror was kept in the family until it was sold to an antique store in Toledo. That's right, they go to Fort Wayne, Indiana, in Toledo, Ohio. They can just go from Ohio to Indiana like that and get back in time to help her, because at this point, Jill was the one that, I say Lily was the little girl. The oldest daughter, the shoemaker daughter, right? I forgot her name. They're arguing in the bathroom, and at this point, you gotta believe it's true. So you say, what, Bloody Mary? She's like, shh, don't say it. And they have a little argument, and she goes, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. I'm like, well, technically, you just said it 4 times. And it's not that you can say, well, the first time wasn't from the mirror. They're in front of the mirror the whole time. So she said it 4 times, technically. I don't know what it does, it just is. And then it comes after Charlie. And then, like I said, Mary takes liberties. And the thing is, because it's in the bathroom at the school, you don't get a name. She just spells it out. She had a boyfriend with mental problems. She loved him, but he also scared her. And the relationship was not stable at all. And he was a psychopath who says, if you break up with me, I will kill if you walk out that door, I will unalive myself. And she says, well, you do it. And then he ended up dead. I always thought that that's bullshit. Even Dean calls it out. He's like, what? Like, she didn't even, like, boyfriend says he's going to kill himself and then does it, but she didn't do anything. You know, maybe Mary, she only sees in black and white. She just sees, something happened, a secret happened. Yeah, that's what I find out, that if you have a secret where someone died, so it's a secret, someone died. Are you telling me she didn't tell anyone? Oh, he threatened to, I guess she wouldn't. But yeah. So, they protect her by covering everything in her room, and then they have to go find this mirror at this antique store. And they're like, well, what are we going to do? It might not be enough to destroy the mirror. I mean, we got to lure her into the mirror and destroy it. Which doesn't work. We'll get to that. He's like, well, who's going to lure it? Sam goes, me. She'll come to me. And he's, okay, that's it, Sam. You're not responsible for Jessica's death. He's not, just like she's not responsible for her boyfriend's suicide. Right? Though they go more into it, and she's like, besides, it wouldn't be a secret. I know everything. You don't know everything, Dean. What are you talking about? Well, if I told you, then it wouldn't be a secret now, would you? So, yeah, there's more. But, like, he's being fake, but it's very obvious that Helen Keller could figure out what he's talking about. And she couldn't see or hear. I'm just saying, the way he describes this, it's like, I'd be like, oh, so you were dreaming about her before she died. It's obvious, but they don't spell it out here until later. It's like, Dean's gotta be stupid idiot. I could figure that out. In fact, I remember when I watched this, I'm like, oh, the dreams happened before. And then it's supposed to be a big twist, and I'm like, were we not supposed to figure that out from the dialogue? Sorry. I guess I'm smart. I don't know. I'm smart sometimes, but I'm always a dumbass. Anyway, so yeah, they go to the mirror store, they break in, which I guess triggers a silent alarm. We'll get there. And he says Bloody Mary 3 times. Nothing happens at first, and then the cops show up. One of the cops is not from Final Destination movie. No, he is Sergeant Seiler from Stargate SG-1. If you know who that is, you don't know him by name. He's the guy that always gets blown up, thrown across the room, knocked out, beat up. The one blonde guy that always gets his ass kicked by everything. Him. It's him. He's one of the cops. And Dean's like, oh, I'm the boss's kid. You're Mr. Yakatoshi's son or whatever. I told you, I'm adopted. They don't believe me. He's like, you know, I just don't have time for this. And he knocks them both out. And this baffles me because can Sam only hear Mary? Because she spells it out. What happens is when it comes to kill you, it looks like you and it has a, you know, it spells out exactly what it is. He was having the dreams before she died. But Dean comes and smashes the mirror, and you think, oh, he heard that. But he didn't, because later he asked Sam about it. So, like, oh, now this is over, what's the secret? But no, it's just like, so you think it's over, right? Well, it's not over, because Mary crawls out of the mirror, which is obvious it would happen. She comes out, and then she makes them both bleed from the eyes, but Dean doesn't have a secret, so he shouldn't be affected, but she could just do that now, I guess. So Dean takes another mirror and faces it towards her, and she then admonishes herself for killing all the people in vengeance. And then she melts in horrible CGI fashion. And I'm sitting here watching this and I'm like, yeah, that makes no sense. Like, why? Like, because then Dean smashes that mirror and I'm like, well, knowing what we know, shouldn't she come out of that mirror again then? Because if a version of herself is self, then a version of herself be in that mirror. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I do like Dean's joke though. So this is like 600 years of bad luck. Concerning what they go through in 15. Yeah, probably. But yeah, and then they drop Charlie off, and Sam's like, you know, it's not your fault. You probably couldn't have stopped it. You wouldn't even have to know him for his personal experience. So Dean's like, so you tell me what it is? And he's like, you know, something about he just needs time, he's not ready, whatever. And then he sees like a ghost of Jessica standing. The song that's playing is fantastic, by the way. It's a nice soul little song. He sees Jessica. I believe it's replaced. There are a few songs that are replaced on Netflix because of copyright stuff. But I'm watching the DVD, so you're thinking, oh, maybe that's why it wasn't Nazareth. No, because I said I looked it up. I'm watching the DVDs and the Blu-rays that were made before the Netflix changes. Okay? So, no, these are the songs that were in there. I remember I watched on Netflix once. I'm like, that's not the song that's supposed to be here. The TNT version doesn't have it either. It's a different song that plays here. I'm like, that's not the right song. But yeah. And the episode ends. So yeah, now the audience knows that Sam was having the visions before she died. Which just to set up that is a story arc in the season. I'm not going to go into it here, but yeah. You know what? I think this is a part of the last one. I'll give it 2. I'll give it 2. I'll give it 2 Impalas out of 3. I think it works. I think it's a 2. But we haven't had any bad ones yet. I don't know if season 1 will get us bad ones yet. The worst one we've had so far is Wendigo. Was that one? I don't know. I may just go back to doing the regular ranking system. We'll see. I don't know. But anyway, what are your thoughts on this episode? Leave a comment, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.